Viewers, the debate of the Budget 2024, which aimed to stimulate economic growth in the country, continues to fuel political storm. Today, the opposition has found fresh ammunition after Union Minister Nitin Gadkari appealed to the Finance Minister to remove the GST on insurance premiums. BJP Member of Parliament and Union Minister Nitin Gadkari has urged Nirmala Sitharaman in the letter to remove the 18% GST that's levied on life and medical insurance premiums, saying that it leads to levying of taxes on the uncertainties of life. The Union Minister has further detailed that the tax on medical insurance premiums restricts the industry's growth and further impacts society, and highlighted that the insurance segment is a social necessity. This letter has now added more fuel to the opposition's tirade against the Finance Minister's first budget of the NDA 3.0 Sarkar. Congress has alleged that even BJP mantris are unhappy with the budget and lauded Gadkari's appeal.
Very happy that Cabinet Minister Mr. Gadkari has endorsed my demand, which I made yesterday on the floor of the House, asking the Finance Minister to remove the 18% GST levied on health and life insurance premiums. We are a very underinsured country, and we must encourage people to insure themselves. And by levying GST, you are making the premiums expensive. And you must treat insurance as not only as a social cover, but also as a mode of saving. So we should remove GST. I am very, very glad that Mr. Gadkari has endorsed what I demanded in the House yesterday.
It is very clear from the part of the Congress that whatever the members of the Parliament from the Congress has raised regarding the GST on health has become a truth, because the Honourable Road Minister for Roads and Highways and Transport has himself claimed or demanded the same. So we have been constantly asking this, but when we asked about the health GST issue, the Honourable Finance Minister told that we are covering so many people in different various health scheme by the healthcare department. That was not the answer, but the answer was the question was very specific. But when Nitin Gadkari has made such a demand, it is very clear that Congress has asked a very genuine demand.
The BJP, meanwhile, has said that discussions on Nitin Gadkari is a senior minister, and discussions on the budget, as far as his suggestions are concerned, will be held.
Well, suggestions on budgets are always welcome, and Nitin Gadkari, being a senior minister, he has suggested something to the FM. And definitely this is a matter which is to be taken in the GST Council. I'm sure people will be considerate with their views.
Let's take this across to our reporters joining us live. We have Pragya joining us live at the moment. Pragya, it's certainly a comment that has attracted a huge amount of controversy. Opposition, of course, is saying we told you so. We also have Nilesh joining us from Mumbai. And Pragya, take us through what exactly are we seeing? Because we have several opposition parliamentarians saying that this is exactly the point of view that we were expressing. And all of this in the larger context of the question about whether the middle class has been done justice to in this budget.
Well, Madhav, you're absolutely right on the count that opposition is taking advantage of the letter that has been shot by Mr. Nitin Gadkari to Nirmala Sitharaman. And because this is a budget session, they are also coming down heavily on the government for this budget. But according to the sources on the government, all the ministers receive, and in fact MPs receive memorandum and also representation to lower GST on various things. So this is also a routine matter for obviously Mr. Nitin Gadkari, who has received this memorandum from Nagpur Division of Life Insurance Corporation Employees Union. So the explanation that we have and clarification that we have got from the government sources is that this memorandum has been forwarded as request by Nitin Gadkari to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and this has been taken by the opposition as to charge against the government on this count. But Nitin Gadkari also said that this is, the union in fact has said that you cannot tax on life uncertainties, and you should not levy at least GST on life insurance premiums is 18%, which is very high. So we have also spoken to Finance Ministry sources who are saying that it is a matter of GST Council. This matter needs to go to GST Council first. Then state will also put their opinions. Then there is a rate rationalization committee who will take a call on this, and this may be considered. Okay. So government is not saying no to it. The government is saying that this may be considered in GST Council.
All right. So everything is open at the moment. Let's see how the things pan out as far as the GST meeting is concerned. very quick comment from Nilesh, who's also with us. Nilesh, we've seen Nitin Gadkari as a leader who's been very outspoken. He's spoken his mind, not just here at the centre, but even when he was in Maharashtra as a minister. He is somebody who doesn't mince his words. And in this case, of course, he is forwarding a complaint or a suggestion that has been received by him and his office.
Well, absolutely. It is almost a week now that the union budget has been presented, and since day one, the opposition has been claiming controversies around the budget. But this is the first time that any union minister has passed criticism or, somewhat a suggestion to the union budget. Nitin Gadkari had requested the finance department to cut down the GST on medical life insurance from 18% to 0%. It is important because the memorandum that was presented, what we are learning through our sources is that it was a long request of cutting down the percentage from 18 to 12%. However, what Nitin Gadkari has approached to finance department is cutting down from 18 to 0%. So that is a big stick that has been...
All right. Thanks so much for that quick update there, Nilesh, as well as Pragya. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates. I want to quickly open this out and take it across to our guests. With us is at the moment Rishi Bagri, political analyst. We also have Mr. R. Rajgopalan, senior journalist. Pankaj Sharma, political analyst, is with us. Kapil Srivastava is spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Let me start first and foremost with R. Rajgopalan. Mr. Rajgopalan, Mr. Nitin Gadkari is, we all know, somebody who's known to speak his mind. But in this case, does he have a point when he says that this is GST on the uncertainties of life and therefore it is a social necessity? Do you agree with what Mr. Nitin Gadkari is saying here?
Nitin Gadkari is right, and he has forwarded the letter which he received from the union. And moreover, I went through the letter. It's a normal course of letter written to the finance minister as chairman of the GST council. Now it is for the GST council to take a call on that. Otherwise, Mr. Nitin Gadkari has not made it as a issue in the cabinet, or it's not his personal letter. He has just forwarded, and it's a welcome sign. And as per my sources, the government is considering there is no jagada between that. As Congress or Kartik Chidambaram or others are making it out, there is no controversy in this. It's a routine matter. It's an administrative matter. There are 1,800 to 2,000 GST issues concerning this GST council, and this is also one of them, and that will be given due consideration.
Okay. Mr. Pankaj Sharma, how do you like to respond to Mr. R. Rajgopalan? He says it's a routine matter. It's not the first time that it's happening that, one minister gives a suggestion about another department to the government of India, or perhaps in any other government as well. And therefore, it's the opposition is, while it's trying to score political brownie points, that's not the case in point, says Mr. Rajgopalan. Please respond to him, Pankaj.
It's not a routine matter. It's not uncomplicated. If a union minister has to formally urge another minister for some pro-people amendments, remedies of serious nature, it is indicative of what? It is clear testimony that the system of governments has so collapsed in some particular ministries, and the government as a whole is behaving in a hugely insensitive manner towards the plight of common people. Dissatisfaction within the government and within the BJP on the issue of governance is alarming. This is not the only case.
Like that.
Please give me 1 minute. Please give me 1 minute.
Okay. Mr. Rajgopal, you can come. Let him make his point. You can come in. Yeah.
Case. Let me tell you that recently a senior union minister and a very senior and prominent BJP MP had to write to the Ministry of Civil Aviation, the Minister of Civil Aviation, and caution him about the severe threat to safety at most of the airports all over the country, as there are reports of malfunctioning of very serious nature in baggage scanner machines.
Mr. Rajgopal has a different perspective. Yeah.
Most of these dual view X-ray baggage scanners, which are used for thoroughly scan hand
Let me quickly bring in the other guests as well. So it's a limited time debate. So let's quickly bring in. Concerns have been expressed about whether this is a genuine issue or not. Rishi Bagri, there is one context though. The context is in which there is a narrative that the budget wasn't exactly, middle class friendly. It wasn't Aam Aadmi friendly. And the opposition, of course, latching onto it perhaps for their own political brownie points, as I was mentioning earlier. But somewhere, it does feed into that narrative. Rishi Bagri.
Hi, Madhav. You just need to understand what is GST. GST was actually implemented by subsuming 17 different indirect taxes. So 17 taxes were replaced by one GST, and the almost the prices of the 400 item has come down with the passing of the, because this kind of recommendation ministers, MPs keep receiving, they forward to the FM or to the GST council, and this is a very routine thing. And routinely we see whenever the GST council meets, they reduce the rates of the items. I can give you a very interesting thing, because in 2017 when GST was launched, the net revenue, the revenue neutral rate was around 15.3%. Today it's 11.1%. So it has gone. Examples, like if you remember the detergent, the soap, they used to had a 28% pre-GST rates. Now it's 18%. Furniture used to have 31%. Now 18%. Electrical appliances had almost 31%. Now it's 18%. So most of the rates have come down. Most of the people, like the middle class people, actually benefited with the lowering of the GST, because the indirect tax have actually gone down. And you also need to understand how the taxes get divided, because the tax get divided. The central GST portions go to the basically it goes to the.
No, that's all right, Rishi. That's fine. I mean, how GST functions is perhaps a different debate altogether. The point being made over here is whether this particular GST on a key area like health insurance is something that is acceptable or not. But let me put that question across to Kapish Srivastava. Kapish Srivastava, point ye hai, the end of the day the question is this: अगर एक मेमोरेंडम कोई भी यूनियन मिनिस्टर रिसीव करता है और उनको लगता है कि उसमें कुछ मेरिट है और वो आगे दूसरे मंत्रालय को बढ़ाते हैं, तो इसमें क्या इस विषय को इतना बड़ा राजनीतिक मुद्दा बनाने की कोई बात है? ये सवाल उठ रहा है बीजेपी की तरफ से।
देखिए, सबसे पहली चीज तो ये है कि गडकरी साहब को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, उनका आभार कि मानवीय दृष्टिकोण को अगर कोई यूनियन मिनिस्टर अपनाया हुआ है तो एकमात्र गडकरी साहब दिख रहे हैं। क्योंकि सरकार ने तो साहब कफन से लेकर के अगरबत्ती से लेकर पेन, दही से लेकर दूध तक पर जीएसटी लगा दिया है। हो सकता है आने वाले समय में शस्त्र में तो सांस पे भी लगाया ही हुआ है और कुछ बचा नहीं है इनके पास। आप किसी का दाम इतना बढ़ा दो कि फिर उसके बाद कुछ कम करने के बाद जनता को कहो कि आप तो कितनी राहत दे दिए, शायद यही गिनाया जा रहा है। 32 से 34 बार जिस तरीके से यू टर्न हुआ है जीएसटी पे, क्या यह सरकार के फैसलों पर प्रश्न चिन्ह खड़ा नहीं करता? और क्या सरकार इतनी ज्यादा मानवहीनता की सोच रखती है कि लाइफ इंश्योरेंस और चिकित्सकीय बीमा पे भी आप लगा रहे? कहां तो आपको स्टेट इस बात की गारंटी करता है कि हमारे यहाँ जो भी व्यक्ति हमारा नागरिक है उसके स्वास्थ्य और शिक्षा की हम गारंटी करते हैं। यही आपकी गारंटी है कि आदमी अपने अगर पैसे से भी परचेज कर रहा है अपने लिए बीमा, एक तो आप सबको सुविधा नहीं मुहैया करा पा रहे हो, जो आपके सिविल हॉस्पिटल्स या अन्य मेडिकल कॉलेजेस हैं उनके अंदर ठीक से अभी डॉक्टर की भर्ती तक नहीं हुई है और दवाएं नहीं मिल पा रही हैं, उसमें भी अगर कुछ व्यक्ति अपने पास से ले रहा है चिकित्सीय बीमा और जीवन बीमा, तो आप उसके लिए भी संविदा पे भी आप जीएसटी लगा रहे हो।
ओके,
तो ये एक मानवहीन सरकार है, मानवताहीन सरकार है। हाँ, इस सरकार में एक व्यक्ति जिंदा है जिसका नाम गडकरी।
Okay, we will come back to you for more reactions on this. I'm requesting all our panelists to stay with us. Slipping into a quick break, the debate continues on the other side. Back, we're discussing the letter written by Nitin Gadkari as far as the issue of GST on insurance is concerned, medical and health insurance to be more specific. Let me quickly take that question across to Mr. Rajgopal. You must have heard what Pankaj Sharma said and Kapish Srivastava said. Kapish Srivastava specifically saying, Mr. Rajgopal, that the government is insensitive to the needs of the common man. How would you respond to him?
Absolutely wrong. Akhilesh Yadav, as member of parliament, day before yesterday wrote a letter to Prime Minister about the Amul dairy in Uttar Pradesh. Does it mean that it is not public interest? Every MP who gets representation or from their own constituency members, he writes a letter to Prime Minister. That is how the government functions. I don't know, Mr. Samajwadi spokesperson is misguiding the viewers. My understanding, there are 28 states ministers of finance or members of GST Council. They have to agree to that because their state revenue is also getting slashed. Apart from that, Madhav, every day, each union minister is getting 150 to 200 suggestions, recommendations, ideas, forward letters like that. That is how the government is splitting that and getting into the GST Council. Mr. Nitin Gadkari letter is a very serious one, but it's a routine one. He just forwarded.
कपिल श्रीवास्तव जवाब दीजिए, ये रूटीन मामला है, बस फॉरवर्ड किया गया लेटर और सरकार ऐसे ही चलती है। अखिलेश यादव ने भी चिट्ठी लिखी है कुछ दिन पहले सरकार को।
अगर अखिलेश यादव जी ने या कोई भी सांसद चिट्ठी लिखता है तो वो एक अलग बात है। अगर हम मानते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ और भी उत्पादन केंद्र लगे, सुन तो लें, यहाँ तो पहले पंख सारे मुर्गी की नोच लिए जा रहे हैं। दिक्कत इस बात की है कि आपको ये भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा कि आप सांस पे टैक्स लगा देते हो, आप दूध दही पे टैक्स लगा दे रहे हो, आप आटा पे टैक्स लगा रहे हो। पहले तो नहीं लगता था। ये सरकार आई ऊपर से कहती है कि हमारा रेवेन्यू जनरेट हो रहा है, लेकिन जो व्यक्ति मानवतापूर्ण दृष्टिकोण आपको
इज दैट फैक्चुअली करेक्ट? ऋषि बागरी, इज दैट फैक्चुअली करेक्ट?
इट्स कंप्लीटली रॉन्ग बिकॉज दूध दही पे 4% पहले टैक्स लगा करता था जीएसटी से पहले। अभी दूध दही पे कोई टैक्स नहीं लगता है। एकदम गलत बात बोल रहे हैं। और दूसरी बात यह है कि आपको ये भी समझना पड़ेगा कि जीएसटी के सारे फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जो भी स्टेट के हैं उनको भी रिकमेंडेशन करना पड़ेगा। आपकी तरफ से कोई भी रिकमेंडेशन नहीं आती है। और एक चीज मैं बताता हूं कि अभी जब 2024 का इलेक्शन हुआ था तो राहुल गांधी ने बोला था कि चार स्लैब की जगह एक स्लैब कर देंगे। भैया 4 स्लैब
completely out of time. Rishi Bagri, R. Rajgopalan, Pankaj Sharma, Kapil Srivastav. Interesting subject nevertheless, and we'll have to see really whether there is any impact of the letter that has been written by Union Minister Nitin Gadkari on this issue of health tax or GST that is in fact being imposed is concerned. Leaving it there, more news and updates on the other side. Stay tuned.